It has been a busy week in politics. It's been a busy 2 years in politics, I would say, from the midterm elections to the heated exchanges at press conferences with the president.
WBZ's John Keller is joining us on the couch now for, John, I feel like we've said this 45 weeks in a row this year. What a week it's been.
What's that saying? TGIF? You know, it really does feel like the floodgates have been opened here. Just in the last couple of days, you have the wild accusations of fraud in several states. You have an angry, bitter recriminations about the way voting went down. You have the firing of the Attorney General and his replacement with an individual who's under investigation by the FBI and is a documented Mueller basher. And then, of course, it seems like a long time ago now, you have the president's angry press conference the other day after the election where he went to war with Jim Acosta, CNN, and other members of the media. And, you know, this is setting a tone for the discourse, for the nation, that makes the last 2 years look like a restful retreat at some nice spa somewhere, and you wonder how long this can keep up, Liam and Paula.
What do you think why do you think he has taken his tact this past week?
Well, I mean, this is who President Trump is. This is the way he likes to operate. Certainly the media bashing has worked well for him throughout his political career, and it probably will continue to work well for him in terms of exciting his base. But it almost seems to be haphazard. It doesn't seem to me like there's a game plan.
Elizabeth Warren in the midterm, she won by 24 points. She had said she was going to take a hard look at running for president. What's next for her?
Well, I think that hard look is going to be hard because progressives or members of the left wing of the party didn't do all that well around the country during the midterm elections. Elizabeth Warren did fine here, but some of the candidates she backed, Richard Cordray, her protege at the Consumer Protection Bureau, lost badly in Ohio. So she really has to do some hard thinking now about how can she be most effective in the years to come, promoting her agenda. It might not be as a presidential candidate. I think we'll find out fairly soon.
And a huge victory for Governor Charlie Baker. You hear a lot of people talking about how much political capital he has now. How do you think he'll use it? Well,
it was interesting. The day after, he met with reporters and was asked, well, what about a third term? And there's no term limits on the governor of Massachusetts. And he did not repeat the terrible mistake that former Governor Deval Patrick did the day after he was elected to a second term by saying, no, this is it for me. I won't be running. Automatic lame duck. Baker didn't do that. And that might extend his window of effectiveness. But the fact is, 2 years into a second term, the 2022 gubernatorial race will start to develop, and he's got to take advantage of the booming economy here in Massachusetts to get a lot of his agenda accomplished too. So very interesting to watch, and we'll see if he can continue as sort of the toast of the Commonwealth the way he's been.
Do you think he has any national ambitions quickly?
I doubt it. I know Charlie Baker to be a policy wonk. Being a governor is a great place to be a policy wonk in, and where would he go in today's Republican Party? I think even New Hampshire would be,
hard
a
for him to
shot in the dark.
Through a primary.
You bet.
Party.
All right, John Keller wrapping up the week in politics for us. TGIF, John.
Have a good weekend.
Enjoy your weekend.
I'll try.
Thank you so much. And this week's edition of our podcast, Studio BZ, is available to download. And Liam, John, and I talked about the midterms. We also discussed a novel new way to help young people pay for housing. And did Harvard University find alien life? You can find the podcast on CBSBoston.com or your favorite podcast app.